We go live to Mexico as the heads of state participate in the important migration summit held in Chiapas continue with their agenda for the day. This is an important summit that is being carried out right now in Chiapas, Mexico, with the aim of addressing the migratory flows that have reached unprecedented levels. Here we are watching images from Mexico as the Venezuelan president and other officials are taking part in this walk of the archaeological center of Chiapas as part of the agenda, of the work agenda of this summit that was convened by the Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador. This is an important summit that the Mexican head of state convened so that together the countries of the region can create a joint proposal that favors the situation to tackle the issues from the roots, to tackle the reason why this year these countries are seeing an unprecedented number of migrations leaving the country, traveling to Mexico to try to reach the United States. We're seeing in the images the Mexican President López Obrador addressing the different heads of states that are present during this tour of the archaeological site of Chiapas as part of the agenda of the summit that is being held in Mexico. In previous days, the Mexican president addressed that the reasons in many cases for these migratory flows that are unprecedented are not the lack of opportunities. Terms securities in the countries affect the reasons, affect the decisions of the people, and also, for example, in the case of Cuba and Venezuela, he made a special note of the coercive sanctions imposed against these two countries by the United States that affect directly the people and force them to travel abroad to look for better opportunity for them and their families. As we were mentioning, this is part of the work agenda of the summit that was convened by the Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador and Venezuelan President, Colombian President Gustavo Petro. They are all there taking part of this tour of the archaeological site that is being led by the Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador. This is a summit, as we have been addressing, that will deal and try to find a solution to tackle the unprecedented migratory flows that have come from the different continental regions that travel to Mexico with the attempt to reach the United States, which has created a great migratory crisis that has not been seen in years in the region. We continue to see the images of the president of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, has his tour as part of the walking agenda of this archaeological site. From here, they will carry on to the summit, which will be closed for the public, but it is expected that later in the day at 2 p.m. local time in Mexico, 4 p.m. Caracas time, we will have access to a press conference where the participants will express the points that they reach and what they discuss on this key summit held in Mexico, convened by the Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador. The main issue, 11 heads of states are present here in Mexico for this summit held in Chiapas. And the idea is to try to reach a consensus, a joint plan of action to tackle the unprecedented migratory flows that have hit the region. As the Mexican president said in several occasions, in many cases, people are traveling illegally abroad, risking their lives and their families, just to try to look for better opportunities, because at times security and economic crisis are the ones affecting them. He made special mention of the cases of the effects of the unilateral, coercive, and illegal sanctions imposed by the United States against several countries in the region like Cuba and Venezuela, and how they affect directly the people and their economies and are unable to develop, and so they have to do these dangerous trips across borders to try to find new opportunities and try to reach a new destination that can help them out in their lives. What we're currently seeing on the images are the tour that the participants of this summit took earlier in the day before entering the summit by the archaeological site of Chiapas, seeing ancient pyramids built in pre-colonial times by the civilizations that inhabited the region. Mexico is a rich country in terms of culture. And the participants of the summit are learning all this history firsthand from specialized guides and officials that are there doing the presentations, as we are seeing on the images. This is all part of the work agenda, as we have been mentioning several times, that the 11 heads of state presidents and representatives from organizations are here to try to find a solution to the migratory crisis that is affecting the region. A summit that was convened by the President of Mexico, Andrés Manuel López Obrador. Images of different archaeological areas that are found in this region of Mexico as they continue to tour the area and learn about the rich history and culture of the civilizations that were present here before pre-colonial times, and the traditions and beliefs that they practiced back in those years. All this is important to remember, that is as part of the work agenda of the important Migration Summit that is being held right now in Mexico City, with the presence of 11 heads of states, including Cuba's President Miguel Díaz-Canel, Venezuela's President Nicolás Maduro, Colombia's President Gustavo Petro, Prime Minister of Haiti Henry Henry, and many others that are taking part in this important summit that is held here in Mexico to try to find solutions to the migratory crisis that is hitting the region. Remember, we'll have later in the afternoon an important that we will try to cover live, an important press conference referring to the results of the summit that were addressing these migratory issues, these migratory flows. So stay tuned with teleSUR English for that information and for much more.